Deep inside one of the most tumultuous and evil palaces of evil that the world has ever known, Snake Mountain, we find one of the most evil villains, Hornak himself, who has set up camp deep inside of Snake Mountain, breaking out some tech inside of this villainous palace of evil. And who is it that we're meeting today behind the walls of this evil court? None other than the witch, Shadow Weaver herself. And today we will look at her review.
Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with an exciting Masterverse review, and this one is a part of the Princes of Power. That's right, tonight we are going to look at Shadow Weaver. Such an awesome figure in her own right, and this is an exciting one because she was very rare in classics, and of course we were able to get like a Super 7 Filmation Club Grayskull version a few years ago, but that one's very expensive now. So to get a Shadow Weaver that looks this amazing and is just decked out with exactly what we would expect, let's look at her. And of course that awesome bookend artwork there, just check that out. And then of course on the back, oh look at there, that she is such a beauty. Yes, 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 this is the last one I'm reviewing in Wave 8. And I'm just so excited about her. She is awesome looking. Go ahead and check out her bio. If you'd like to pause and read that now, you can. So now let's go break her open and check her out. I went ahead and set up Snake Mountain because even though, there's the fright zone, I wanted to deck out the inside of Snake Mountain, give it a little techno vibe, and review her in there. So let's go now into Snake Mountain. And here we are inside of Snake Mountain to look at one of the most articulated Shadow Weavers to date. So now let's first look at her accessories. First of all, looking at her hands, she comes with a set of weapon holding hands, as well as a set of casting a spell type hand, and one of each are equipped now, so you can see that. So just two sets of hands. She also comes of course with her iconic base to be able to use with her levitation look there, and it plugs into the bottom, and it is a black translucent plastic. And then she comes with a fire effect. And this fire effect will attach to either hand, probably attaches to the weapon holding or casting a spell hand. We'll take a look at both. And then she comes with her also iconic wand with a translucent green orb on the top of it. And that rounds out her accessories. Now let's take a look at our Shadow Weaver's articulation. Bringing Shadow Weaver on in here, we'll take a look at her articulation, and as you can see, she's holding her scepter in that weapon holding hand. The cast a spell hand here is attached to this flame effect, and you can see here that there is a hole in this, a little place where you can put her thumb so it holds on to it well. And you could also fit the weapon holding hand up in there, that ball section, and have a tight fit also. But you can see how that really looks good with that cast a spell type hand coming out, and then that fire effect coming forward as well. And you could even put it on this ball here and have it at the end of that. So you could do that any way that you would like. There are a lot of options there, but we'll go ahead and remove that, as well as remove this, and continue on with the articulation, starting off with her head here. You're going to be able to look up about that amount. You're going to be able to look down a good amount there. And of course, she'll look side to side. Not a whole lot of pivoting, just a very little bit, not much. And this piece around her neck really doesn't get in the way at all. Even looking up, it doesn't hit anything, or looking down. So that doesn't hinder anything. It's just that ball joint up in there is not very flexible when it comes to the pivoting side to side. That's a shame. Some of them get better than others, but overall though, I think it'll work, because you can look up, you can look down, so that'll work. All right, now the arms, it gets a little bit more complicated simply because we have here her cape piece. And the thing to notice about that cape piece is it is sewn right across here, or glued possibly. I'm not 100% sure how. Yeah, it's sewn right there. You have an attachment, so it becomes a sleeve. So you have kind of a cape and a sleeve mix. And so that can of course be removed, and for the sake of this part of the review, I'm going to pop off that hand and just remove that one side here so that you can see the articulation good on this side. So she's going to be able to get better than a T-pose there. She's going to get better than a T-pose there. She'll of course go all the way around when that sleeve's not attached. She has biceps swivel, true bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which get really good range. And this female has different looking arms. There's not really any muscularity here much, and has just, you know, your common arm look, especially being that she's going to have that sleeve option, swivel and hinge at the wrist, which is good. All of them are horizontally hinged, I do believe, yes. And so you can see how that works. And of course, with the sleeve on this side, you still have all those same options. You just won't see it. Of course, that's the reason I wanted to remove it here. But you can see how well that works. That looks really good. I like this soft cape. I like the way they did that. You know, you still have that look from the back and from the front with the sleeve there, and then too there's no limitations, whereas some of the other figures we've received where they have the plastic or an attached piece that's plastic on her arm, it works if it's stretched out like that with the gravity hanging down, but if it's like that and it's still hanging down, or if it's up like that and it's still just, you know, kind of straight out, this one you could actually get to, you know, continue to drape down instead of it being sticking awkwardly in a different direction because it's cloth. So that really works good. Then moving on to her diaphragm, she's going to crunch forward about that much. She'll bend back an impressive amount. That's really good. And of course, with that kind of ball joint diaphragm, she's going to be able to get side to side as well as swivel. Now notice also, even though this is again that dress covering, she still will get a swivel underneath the dress. You just have to hold that up in here. So she gets a swivel at the waist. But as you can see up under here, you have really the ability of having 1-2 sections. So you can swivel here, right up in there, or here at this dress piece. So you're going to be able to get the ability to really bend, you know, at 3 different sections. So she's really going to be able to bend down and really be able to bend back when you apply all 3 sections together. So you're going to really get a lot of, and then if you just use, say, this bottom section right here, then you'll be able to, you know, go side to side. So it's like a ball joint, diaphragm joint again, but it's not diaphragm. Obviously, it's this piece up underneath the dress, which also gives it a layered look. You can see it kind of gives it a layered look from the side. And so that's really neat. That is the best articulation we've seen on a Shadow Weaver. And so I really like and appreciate the way they did this, where she has gold eyes too, instead of the yellow painted in eyes. They're more of a gold color. Yes, they're gold, like a metallic gold look. And so as I showed you earlier, she comes with her display stand. So that would be another point of articulation, because you have the ability to bend that backwards and forwards, and that would peg right into the bottom down in there or up in there. And so that is really cool. So you have 1, 2, 3 parts of articulation just in the lower part. So that makes up for, you know, the lack of legs. She's going to be able to levitate and kind of float and do her thing as she needs to. So that's really cool. All right, so I have attached her sleeve again on here, and you can see also how that flame effect will attach to her ball wand up there, and just really neat. And while we're here, I want to go ahead and show you that you can pop off that head, and this little part, this garment part that's plastic, will slide off there. And you can also even remove the cape, because it's just looped around there if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but that would be an option on that. So go ahead and pop her head back on there. And I just think she's very well done, and I really like this Shadow Weaver to have the ability to have extra hands, better articulation, a cloth cape, get her iconic accessories. I just really think they knocked this out of the park. I think they did a really good job with this Shadow Weaver. And we'll compare her to the other one I have, because I only have one other Shadow Weaver per se, which is the Super 7 Filmation style. So we'll do comparisons right now. And here is both of my Shadow Weavers, the Super 7 one, which is definitely, I would say, more shapely, even though it has limited articulation. You can see the cool effect that shoots out of her finger. You can attach with the little green piece on the end, and then comes with a very similar scepter, darker gray with a more deep green translucent effect on the end of hers. And of course her mask, her the part that goes around the neck is attached to the head part, whereas this on the Masterverse one, or Princes of Power Masterverse one here, you have like two separate pieces. The head from the shawl, I guess, that goes around kind of the neck area is separate. So that does give her a little bit more articulation than the Super 7. And you can just see body-wise a little bit more of a shapely look with the Super 7 Club Gray Skull one here overall. So that's just something to notice. And so she comes with her, the Super 7 one came with a clear base. This one comes with a little bit thicker and larger black translucent base. And of course, like we've already shown you, this one, the Masterverse one, came with the fire effect, which is really cool. And then you get the option again with the hands, where you didn't with this one. You see those plastic pieces like I was talking about, that there's just not as much you can do with those. And we'll turn them around here. You can see from the back, that's just that plain plastic look. Whereas this, you're gonna have more options. Just looks, to me, just more realistic, and I like it. That is definitely an improvement. So for me personally, with the exception of maybe just the fact that this one is very shapely looking, which is cool, of course, the feminine look, I just say that this one's not bad either, but I would give the win to the Masterverse one here, and a lot less. This one's like $50, $45, $50, whereas this one's $23, $24. So I would definitely give it to the Masterverse here for articulation and accessories and the overall look with that cape and the sleeves. I love it, just looking great. And also, I'll show you, I've shown you before in my reviews, and I'll show it to you now. I took the katana, the DC katana figure's head, and gave it a little bit of a paint with the green on the bottom part of the jaw and the red lips, painted in the white eyes, the yellow. And then you can take off the head of the Super 7 one there and have her like Shadow Weaver without her mask on. If you'd like to do something like that, that's, you can see she's holding her own hood there, just turning the face away, because it's just the one that she came with, the face, but you turn that face away and becomes another display option there for you. But this Shadow Weaver is just really cool. I think this one that comes for the Masterverse just really looks stellar. I think she looks nice. Again, the soft goods cape, the ability to switch out hands, the gold eyes, the fact that the kind of mask part around the neck is separate from the hood. Just all of it together. Her articulation. Excellent job for this Shadow Weaver. Alright, so now let's look at her alongside some other comparisons. And here is Shadow Weaver next to Spiral by Marvel Legends, as well as the Grayskull Sorceress Evelyn, Sorceress of Grayskull Evelyn version with the bat head dressing. And there's another usage of that flame effect with the hole on the side. You can stick that wand through there with the ball. Kind of, you can even stick it inside of this area if you want to, but I've got it sideways so that you can kind of simulate what they did on the box. You saw on the box there how her fingers kind of simulate like the flame effect coming off the ball there. So you can kind of do that with her fingers. So that's kind of cool the way they made that. So there's just several options there, but you see how she looks with these next to these. Really cool. Another witch there in Spiral and the Sorceress Evelyn. Cool. And here is Shadow Weaver next to our evil Adora before she became She-Ra, I guess. And also the comic books have a storyline of this particular one. That's without her mask, her Hordak looking mask. There she is next to Masterverse Hordak. This, of course, is the classics, by the way, of Adora there. And there is the Masterverse Hordak. So you see how Shadow Weaver measures up. She does look petite next to these. She definitely looked in scale with the Super 7 Shadow Weaver, but a little bit petite alongside of these, but it still looks really good. Check it out. And here is Shadow Weaver next to the Masterverse Sorceress, as well as She-Ra, Masterverse She-Ra. Now she is sporting a Hordak MX. You can find him on Instagram. He does excellent custom head work. So you can find those, but that looks really good. And just excellent job there. Excellent looking next to these. And please, if you've enjoyed this review, please like, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe and comment if you have something to share. We're going to be doing our Dark Evelyn. She's jacked. The Mattel Creations exclusive, as well as eventually get to those Silverhawks. Been a little slow lately around Easter. Had a lot going on here. But thank you for your patience, and come back and see us again for another Super Dave review. Here are some photos in the photo gallery. Enjoy.